Hey guys, this is Awake and Alive. Welcome to today's show. Thank you so much for joining me. First and foremost, before I jump into the article that I have for you today, which is going to be a good one, so get ready. But before we do, I want to give all the glory and honor to Jesus Christ for this amazing journey that He's leading us all on, guys, for this amazing channel. Guys, I give Him all the glory. Amen to Jesus. Okay, guys, so let's jump into today's article and to today's show. So, I have this article for you, and I saw it over the weekend, and I got to tell you, it was just kind of crazy, okay? It's not necessarily over the top crazy, but I'm just here to tell you that what I'm about to read to you, it may surprise you, and it may make you scratch your head a little bit going, saying, does this really happen? The things that I'm about to read to you actually happen in this day and age? Well, from what this article says, that it does. But let me know what you think. But here we go. It says here, Tom Hanks makes dreams come true for fellow manual typewriter enthusiasts in Goodlettsville. I'm not sure where that is, but it says this. It says, Nashville typewriter owner Kirk Jackson calls the movie star a solid, genuine, and just flat-out awesome guy after a lengthy visit at Jackson's shop. It says here, let me continue. It says, when Jackson of Goodlettsville sent a typewritten letter to movie star Tom Hanks last year, he didn't really expect a reply. But it says this, but the manual typewriter collector / repairman thought he'd give it a try. He says this, it says, Hanks, after all, is well known for his love of manual typewriters. And it says this, not only did he get a letter back, typed, of course, but it says, Hanks said in the letter that he'd stop by his shop on his next trip to Nashville. So it says this, on Tuesday, May 25th, Hanks delivered on that promise. And it says in quote, he says he hung out at the house, met the family, pet the dogs, and chatted for a little bit before we headed up to the shop to dig into the mountain of machines that lurk up there, Jackson posted on Instagram. And it says this as well. It says, we talked about the ogled typewriters, tested a bunch, and just had a blast, Jackson wrote in quote. It says, he really is the nicest guy in Hollywood, wink wink, come on, give me a break. But anyway, let me continue. It says, the visit started with a 20-minute sit-down in Jackson's living room, where Hanks chatted admirably with Jackson and Jackson's wife Kimberly and their 15-year-old son Aiden. And let me continue, and it says this, excuse me, Hank spent much of the time asking Jackson's wife and son about their lives, even comparing notes on running high school track with the teenager who competes for Beach High School in Hendersonville, Jackson said. Let me see. It says that they talked about some lacrosse and all of that stuff, and it says this, and it says Hanks and Jackson headed up to the typewriter shop about 100 yards behind the house, and it says this, Hanks bought 2 typewriters from Jackson, who started collecting and selling manual typewriters 5 years ago, calling his business Nashville Typewriter. And it says this, the movie star paid asking price for both machines with a check, which Jackson plans on framing after depositing it electronically. And it says in quote, he told me, I'm a rich, famous movie star, so don't undercharge me, Jackson said. And it says here as well, it says, Hanks comes to Nashville as often as 3 times a year because his wife, actress / singer Rita Wilson, regularly collaborates with Nashville songwriters and or producers. And this is the end of the article. Here it says, Hanks signed a workbench in Jackson's shop and posted for selfies with Jackson and his family. And it says, Hank left with a promise that he'd return to Jackson's shop the next time Hanks is in Nashville. Hanks also promised to type out a letter to Jackson's typewriter-loving 15-year-old protege in Florida. And it says this, about 24 hours later, Jackson said he's still floating high from the visit, adding that the movie star have texted a few times Wednesday. Oh, come on, give me a break. And it says this is the conclusion. It says, I have Tom Hanks in my phone now. Jackson said, like we're friends. That's amazing. And that's the end of the article. So let me just make it perfectly clear to you that things like that do not happen by coincidence. They don't just happen by coincidence. You don't just send a typewritten letter to one of the most famous people, okay, or so they say, the most famous and well-known movie star in Hollywood, Tom Hanks, and they don't just stop by your house. They don't just stop by and say, "Oh, hey, here I am." Do you really expect me to believe that? Do you really expect me that Tom Hanks, this guy that we all know what he's involved in and his, connections to Freemasonry and the occult, just happened to stop by this guy's house in Nashville, Tennessee by a chance? By a written letter? I mean, come on, you can't expect me to believe that Tom Hanks, that I'm pretty sure gets a lot of fan mail, and just happens to stop by this guy's shop, knowing that Tom Hanks is, from what I read here, loves manual typewriters. You got to tell me that this is a complete utter coincidence? I think not. I mean, come on, look through some of these pictures. Now, here are the pictures that, I had to take screenshots of, from the article, but here they are, showing that him and the family, and here's where it says, "To Kirk, in amazement, Tom Hanks," end quote. The workbench that he signed, and the two, the couple of typewriters that Tom Hanks bought from him, and a couple of pictures with him and the family. Now, come on. What are the chances that someone like Tom Hanks just happens to show up at your house and wants to sit down and talk with you, and then wants to buy some typewriters from you? You cannot expect me to believe that this is an authentic thing. I mean, come on. We all know what Tom Hanks is involved in. We all know what it is that he does, what he's involved in. So give me an absolute break if you're going to sit there and try to convince me that this is anything other than just try to make it look good for the article, okay? Now, I'm not going to sit here because I'm not sure, but, to be able to say that you met Tom Hanks by on a whim because you wrote him a letter and he just happened to stop by your house, and tell me that this isn't some kind of show or some kind of stage thing, that I don't know what else is, but come on. I don't know if this guy is, involved in Freemasonry, the guy that owns this shop or what have you. I don't know. I didn't do enough digging into that, but I just thought the article itself seemed like a setup, seemed like a scam, seemed like something that they just, oh yeah, let's make it look good for the people that are not awake to the reality of what's really going on here. So let me know what you think in the comments below. That's today's video, guys. Thank you so much. It's my first video back. I appreciate every last one of you for being patient. I've got some more videos coming this week, so be on the lookout. Trust me, some of the ones I've got coming you're not going to want to miss. So trust me when I say you don't want to miss it. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, I highly recommend you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, get notified, because the videos that I got coming, like I said, you don't want to miss them, because some of the articles that I have for you and videos that I got coming, you don't want to miss. So I highly recommend you subscribe, hit the bell, get notified, because what I got coming, you're going to want to see it. Some of the things are going to make you go, what is going on in this world? So let me know what you think in the comments below. I appreciate every last one of you. For all the new subscribers that are here, for those that have been around a while, God bless you all. I love you. For Jesus Christ gets all the glory for everything that goes on with this channel. So guys, I thank you and I love you. Lord willing, I will see you in the next one. Okay guys, God bless you and your families.